If you buy the wrong things in GTA Online, you're gonna be broke. So, here are my 10 best investments that have helped me make hundreds of millions of dollars in Grand Theft Auto Online. Starting off at number 10 has been an armored vehicle. Now, this is a very broad definition, but in particular, I'm gonna say the armored Kuruma. This vehicle makes any contact mission an absolute joke. It seriously makes it way too easy. Not only that, for heist setups, this is one of the best vehicles in the game. Whether you're doing the Doomsday Heist or the original 5 heists, you're gonna want an armored Kuruma. It makes them so easy, and it's gonna help you make money faster, and it's not that expensive. It's not even $600,000, which means even beginners should be able to afford this vehicle. Now, this vehicle is not gonna keep you safe in free mode. It can't tank any explosives. One sticky bomb, one RPG will blow it up. But purely for missions and anything where you're fighting AI enemies, this thing is one of the best vehicles in the game, and it's absolutely one that every single person should own. Number 9 is a strange one, but it really has made me hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's adding personal quarters to every single business that I own. It only costs somewhere between $200,000 to $300,000 in most properties, and what it does is let you spawn at that location. You can basically just fast travel across the map whenever you want, change your spawn location to somewhere where you have a personal quarters, find a new lobby, make it an invite-only lobby, and then the load screen is going to be less than 10 seconds. It's basically fast travel. If you're trying to grind money in a game like Grand Theft Auto, time is money. The more time you save, the more money you're gonna make. So, when you look at it that way, this can save you 5 minutes. Flying across the map in some situations, and if you just teleport to whatever business you need to get to and then start up that sell mission or contract, whatever you're doing, that gives you more time to go out and earn money. Personally, at number 8 I have the Hackershaw Drag. This is the fastest bike in the game. The reason is on this list is it costs $1 million. But to get the HSW upgrade, which makes it the fastest bike in the game, that's gonna cost you another $1.45 million. But once you have that, you can do your HSW time trials so easily. Every single week, if you haven't done these before. These are only on the current gen consoles, but they make you $250,000 the first time you do it each week. And on this bike, they are actually a joke. How easy they are. And that's just for 4 or 5 minutes a week playing the game. So for that reason, this bike basically gives you the easiest way to make money in the entire game, and it's absolutely deserving of a spot on the top 10 of my investments. Number 7 has to be the Acid Lab. This is one of the best businesses in the game, and it's actually very cheap compared to some of the other businesses. Get the Brigade 6x6 for free, which is where the Acid Lab is if you complete all of the first dose story missions there. The Acid Lab costs $750,000 and $250,000 for the equipment upgrade, so all up, $1 million. But what's so great about the Acid Lab is it's a passive business. Everything happens in the background while you're doing other stuff, so why is this such a good investment? Well, with the equipment upgrade, this is going to produce over $85,000 worth of product per hour. And on top of that, what makes this business unique is you can actually go in and boost the production speed once per day. That's going to double the production speed for about half an hour. If you're doing that every single day, you'll have no problem making $500,000 from this business every few days. Why $500,000? Well, a full Acid Lab is going to pay about $350,000, but if you manage to sell this in a full lobby and just go ghost organization with your CEO org, it'll quite comfortably make about $500,000 per sale. That brings it above the coke lockup, above the bunker, and in some aspects even above the nightclub in terms of profit per hour. The Acid Lab really is one of the easiest ways to make money in the game. At number 6 is the Sparrow helicopter. Now, in order to own this, you will need to own the Kosatka, and then once you own the Kosatka, you can buy the Sparrow for $1.8 million. But not only is this one of the fastest helicopters in the game, but because it's a service vehicle, you can spawn it right next to you whenever you want. And if you're a money grinder, you know how useful that can be for any Cayo Perico setup. I think most of us are using the Sparrow at this point. It is just that good, and it saves that much time. And even when I'm grinding other missions or contracts in GTA Online, I always use the Sparrow as a backup if I don't have my Oppressor Mark II available. And believe me, That happens more often than you might think. So, for any grinder, if you're trying to make money, the Sparrow is definitely a vehicle you need to own and an investment you need to make. At number 5 is the auto shop. In my opinion, this might just be the most underrated business in the entire game. Now, the auto shop itself does make you a bit of money. You can probably expect to make $20,000 to $40,000 an hour just through the actual auto shop, like the customer vehicles that come in. And honestly, that's not terrible money, but the main way you're going to make money with the auto shop is, of course, the auto shop contracts. These are basically mini high-speed heists. Most of them are going to pay around $180,000. They'll take you about 25 minutes to complete. But the best one is the Union Depository contract that pays $300,000. But what's so great about this business is maybe 2 or 3 times a year, Rockstar actually puts these contracts on triple money for the week, which means every Union Depository contract you complete, you're going to get $900,000. So, whenever those event weeks roll around, you can expect most players that have this. I'm making about $5 million that week just from these alone. Not to mention that the auto shop is actually really nice because it comes with a 10-car garage as well as your own personal LS customs. I mean, it is an auto shop after all. So besides the money-making opportunities, this is just a really cool property to own as well. At number 4, I had to put it somewhere on the list. It is still the Oppressor Mark II. Love it or hate it, this is one of the best investments most grinders will make. You can spawn it right next to you. It's so easy to use and so easy to get into tight, nimble spaces for completing any heist setups, payphone hits, whatever you're doing. This really is still probably the best grinding vehicle in the entire game. If you're going for a trip across the entire map, sure, the Sparrow will definitely be faster. For anything just around the city, the Oppressor Mark II probably still has it outclassed just because of how easy it is to land and how fast it is to take off with the Oppressor Mark II. So yes, unfortunately, I do have to admit this is one of the best investments I've ever made. At number 3, I mentioned it earlier, it's the nightclub. The nightclub is, in my opinion, the best passive business in the game. Even though the acid lab does come very close, the nightclub will make you $50,000 every single 48 minutes just through the safe, and that's not even including the main part of the business, which is the underground warehouse. If you have the upgrades for the warehouse down below, as well as you have staff assigned to the 5 best products, which are cargo and shipments, sporting goods, South American imports, pharmaceutical research, and cash creation, those 5 combined will also make you about $50,000 an hour, which means all up from the safe and the warehouse. You'll be making over $100,000 an hour with the nightclub, and all of that happens in the background while you're doing heists, contracts, or just messing around with friends. So yeah, safe to say this is one of the best investments you can make in the entire game, and everyone, I mean everyone, should own this property. At number 2 on the list is the agency. This would be the best business in the entire game if the submarine didn't exist, and it's not hard to see why. The contract itself, which the agency lets you start up, will pay you $1 million every time you do it. The contract should take you about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Not only that, this will let you start up payphone hits. Not only that, you can also do security contracts, which will pay you anywhere between about $35,000 to over $60,000 for just a few minutes work. And last but not least, you can have your own mini-tech vehicle workshop as well. This means you can add missile lock-on jammers and remote controls to certain vehicles. So yeah, these are some awesome ways to make money with this business. And at number 1, I made pretty obvious still. It is the Kosatka submarine. As we all know, this lets you start up the Cayo Perico Heist, which will pay you anywhere between $1.3 to $1.6 million for about 1 hour. Even though the submarine and the Cayo Perico Heist have gotten massive nerfs with the massive cooldown, this heist is still by far the best way to make money in the game. I'm sure a lot of you watching this video have made hundreds of millions of dollars from this submarine alone, and for that reason, it is still number 1 in 2024, the best investment for solo players.
Like, share and subscribe to the channel as we are close to 500 subs. Thank you.